Jolly good show, Major.
The champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
What's going on, TTC? New Rob report. So now that I've had a little bit of time to settle down and kind of recap this game, I've even had an opportunity to watch the replay. Just going back on, and I've had the opportunity to speak to a few different people about it, and and everybody seems to stand by the notion that Green Bay just threw up all over themselves and gave up the game. And no one wants to give any credit to Seattle. And that's pretty much par for the course when it comes to the Seahawks. Even in winning a Super Bowl, in getting to the Super Bowl in 2006, we didn't beat anybody. In getting to the Super Bowl, winning it last year, the respect is never really given. Now, people might argue that everybody knows that the defense is the best in the league and yada, yada, yada. That's true. The defense, but the chip on the shoulder that our defense plays with is all because of the fact that we've come from a history of being largely discounted. And that's the truth. And that's the truth. Everybody wants to talk down about Doug Baldwin for his rant at the end of the game. Saying people didn't believe in him. And then, the people on TV want to go, who, Doug Baldwin? Who didn't believe in you? You guys number one seed. Who didn't believe in you? It's bullshit. No one believed. When the Seahawks were 3-3, all everybody was saying was that it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to happen. When the Seahawks were 6-4, all everybody was saying was that it wasn't going to happen. And when I say everybody, I'm speaking generally. Okay, not everybody, because I don't know everybody. And I didn't watch everybody. But for the most part, everybody said it wasn't going to happen. I'm just getting tired of seeing all the time. The whole time they were saying it wasn't going to happen. Bottom line is the whole time they were saying it wasn't going to happen. That's just it. Don't even argue. The whole time everybody was saying it wasn't going to happen. And now that it's happened and we're saying we told you so, everybody's saying, well, when did we say it wasn't going to happen? When did we say we didn't believe in you? It's bullshit. It's total bullshit. So I'm all about Doug Baldwin with his rant. I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Now, back to the game. People I speak with, they lose sight. They still don't want to give Seattle their due credit for persevering and coming, having faith, persevering and all the things that are necessary to come out with a win the way they did. It looked like it was done. It looked like the game was over. When you're down 19-7 and you throw a pick with 5 minutes left in the game, you pretty much think the game is over. That's just common sense. It has nothing to do with, people want to talk shit about the fans leaving the game. Look, don't say shit about the fans that left the game. Okay, you're talking about you had a select few people left the game early, okay, and they made it a point to take a picture of them, and I saw pictures of people at bars watching the game talking about they were fans that left early. That's bullshit. How many fucking fans were at bars watching the game? I mean, how convenient is this to go take a picture at a bar full of Seahawk fans and say, oh, these are all fans that left early? Retarded. It's all dumb. There was a few fans that left early, and there's not much to stay for when your team is down 19-7 with 5 minutes left in the game and you just threw a pick. Can't really blame them. However, I will say this: it's nothing when that camera panned out and you saw the bigger portion of the stadium. Did it look empty? No, it did not. It still looked pretty jam packed. Unlike what we saw in the San Francisco Thanksgiving game, unlike what we saw at the Arizona game. How we saw multiple large areas of stands empty. There was more blue and green than there was red at both of those games when it got to the end. So let's keep things in perspective here, okay? That stadium was still earthquake full. Okay? So let's just keep it in perspective, folks. Keep it in perspective. I keep getting away from the game. I'm gonna say that, you know, losing sight of the game here. You know, they want to say that Green Bay just lost the game, Seattle didn't win, and I disagree with that largely. You know, most of the people want to argue that, oh, we didn't start playing. It wasn't until the very end, you know, that Seattle started playing football. Well, I mean, you know, they play 4 quarters. You know, there's 60 minutes in a football game, and it's divided into 4 quarters at 15 minutes each. So what does it matter whether the game was won at the beginning or won at the end? Matter of fact, you can't even win a game at the beginning. That's what everybody knows. You can't win a game at the beginning of the game. You can only win the game at the end. If you ask me, Seattle did the most damage in the beginning of the game. When they turned the ball over and had Green Bay in their red zone twice and held them to field goals at the 1-yard line. Twice in the first half. That was the most damage done by Seattle in that whole game. Forget the onside kick. Forget the big plays in the passing game. Forget Marshawn Lynch's run. Forget the fucking Jermaine Kearse catch at the end. Forget all that. The damage was done. The most damage was done by Seattle when we made those 2 goal line stands holding Green Bay to 3. Because those are touchdowns. The game's done. You know what I mean? Who knows? Who knows what would have happened? Subsequent to that. But in hindsight, those are the 2 biggest portions of the game. Marshawn Lynch had 150-something yards rushing. Marshawn Lynch was the engine that could all game long. People lose sight of it because we were down 16-0 for a whole game. No one wants to talk about how Marshawn Lynch had 6 yards a carry. 6 yards a carry. But people don't want to see it. People don't want to see it. People don't want to see that Russell Wilson threw for more yards than Aaron Rodgers. People don't want to see that Seattle's offense produced more yards than the Packers. No one wants to see that. All they want to see is the fact that Russell Wilson threw 4 picks. And we were down 16-0 for the better part of the game. How come nobody wants to see that the fact is Seattle more often than not is a second half team? It's been like that all season long. Why is everybody losing sight of this? Why is everybody saying that because of this game happening the way it is, that the Seattle isn't even prepared to be in the Super Bowl against New England, and how Seattle didn't even really deserve to win? Green Bay just gave the game away. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? Champions find way to win. That's what champions do. Champions find a way to win. And that's what the Seattle Seahawks did, and that's why they're now NFC champions. Champions find a way to win regardless of the situation. Doesn't matter what situation you're walking into. You find a way to win. That's what a champion does. So forget about all the bullshit. He threw, Russell Wilson was this. Russell Wilson's been exposed. You know how many times I've heard Russell Wilson's been exposed since Sunday night? I've heard that shit so many times I'm ready to pull my hair out. I need a haircut, so probably that wouldn't be a bad idea. But, yeah. Russell Wilson's been exposed. Russell Wilson wasn't exposed. Russell Wilson threw 4 interceptions, which is not good. One of them was his fault, in my opinion. One of them was his fault. 2 of them bounced off of Mr. Brickhand's Jermaine Kearse, and Jermaine is usually pretty solid, but today, on that day, he was Brickhand's Kearse. So twice on a slant route, it hit, and Green Bay just happened to be playing the perfect defense. If you guys watch the replay, you can see that they're playing like a robber concept. I don't know if you guys know what a robber concept is, but a robber concept is when one of the safeties, typically the free safety, sinks down at the snap. He sinks down to the zone in the middle of the field from his position, and the corner flushes the receiver in. So the corner flushes the receiver in toward the safety who's coming down. It's a robber. And that's what it was. So he ran the slant in, bounced off his hand. The robber is right there to catch the tip and take it back. That's what they just happened to run that play twice, and it worked the same way twice on those in route, on those slants. The other one down the one down the field in the middle of the field in double coverage, that one was Russell's fault. I give that squarely on Russell. The one in the end zone, the jump ball to Curse, I say that's more Curse not fighting for position. Now maybe I don't know if that was Dix or if that was I forgot who made that pick, but I think that was that Clinton Dix? No, that wasn't Dix. That was the other guy. That one, you know, maybe he just played it well. Maybe he boxed him out and just did a good job. But it looked like that Curse just didn't put enough effort into fighting for the ball. I mean, in those situations, when you throw a jump ball up like that, one-on-one, one of two things is supposed to happen. It's supposed to be a touchdown or it's supposed to be incomplete pass, because the receiver at some point has to know he's not going to be able to make the catch. He has to become the defender at that point and make sure that the DB doesn't pick it up. So I put that on Curse, to be honest. The one down the field in the double coverage, I put that right on Russell. So if you look at it like that, Russell threw one pick. That was actually his fault. What can you do about the passes being there? The receivers did not help Russell out at all day long until they did, right? I mean, drop pass after drop pass after drop pass. Maybe Russell's putting too much heat on it. You know, maybe Russell Wilson's got John Elway issues. He's just putting a little too much heat on the ball. Maybe he needs to take some off of it a little bit. Maybe that's the case. But the ball was hitting the dudes in the hands, and they were just dropping it. How much can you blame that on Russell? Can you blame that on Russell? Neither quarterback, Aaron Rodgers or Russell, had a very good passer rating. Russell's QBR wasn't good at all, but Aaron Rodgers wasn't really anything to write home about. But their passer rating, neither one was good. Neither one. So this game was really not too out of the ordinary, with the except for it came down to the very late minutes of the game, and it had an onside kick involved in it. Other than that, it was pretty much Seahawk football, if you ask me. It was pretty much Seahawk football. That's just my opinion. The tweet about Russell, from the Seahawks with Russell Wilson, emotional about MLK. They are shooting this thing completely out of the water. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. This is the internet is the best and the worst thing in the world. You can use the internet to share information and do wonderful, amazing, great things. Or you can use the internet to fucking just do shit. That's what this is. This is the internet being used to do shit. I don't care if the quote was about Jesus Christ. It was something that was largely positive. Somebody out there and who has a certain mindset, which is a fucking idiot mindset, and all of the rest of the idiots out there who would sign on with it are making it seem like the Seahawks are literally comparing winning a football game to the struggle that African Americans dealt with through the times of racism and the fight for equality, civil rights. That's the most stupidest thing I ever heard. It's stupid and it's redonkulous for anyone to even assume that that's what's being done. You're taking a quote. You can apply the concept of the quote to anything. It's the concept. The quote was made. The quote was made back in the 60s. But the concept, the message behind the quote is what's being talked about here. No one's saying that they should rename MLK Day to Russell Wilson Day or Seahawks Championship Day. They're simply saying, hey, have faith and good things happen to you. Have faith and good things happen to you. They got on Russell Wilson for thanking God for the blessing that it was that the Seahawks came out of that game on top. Are you fucking kidding me? How many actors and actresses go on stage after winning an Academy Award and say, I just want to thank God? No one bats an eye for that. It's so ridiculous. The internet allows people who are what I call knee-jerk reactionists to get on and behind the comfort of their keyboard give their idiotic, ridiculous opinions and spread them to the world, and all the rest of the idiotic people can sign on for it and talk about it. It's so dumb. It's so ridiculous. Get a fucking life. Get a fucking life. How many times do you listen to this video, anybody, arbitrarily just say the phrase, "Oh, thank God"? Does that make you a bad person? Does that make you ridiculous for thanking God for something so worldly? Whatever the words you were saying, thank God for. It's so dumb. It's so dumb and it's so ridiculous. And everybody whoever started this bullshit about the tweet about God and the tweet about the Russell's statements about God and then the tweet about MLK. Whoever you are, you got to be ashamed of yourself. You should go in your kitchen. You should open your refrigerator. Matter of fact, open your freezer. Stick your head in there and just slam a door on your head about 3 times. That's what you should do. Fucking idiots. Anyway, that's all I got. That's just my little my post game. Apparently Sherman and Earl Thomas are gonna be all right. They're a little banged up, but they got almost 2 weeks to get right, so we're good. Justin Britt's gonna play. He's healthy. Hey, bring on the Patriots. That's all I got. Fuck the 49ers. Go Hawks.